We'll start out by me helping you navigate through the SDYC Juniors site right there. You come over here and you will see everything that you could possibly want. Right now we're in the winter sailing program is coming up. And so you would click there. You can look, you can go down, you can see we just finished the fall sailing program. You can see high school sailing, summer sailing, La Playa series is the Sabot races, just everything. High performance youth sailing, HPYS, you can read about that. And on the juniors homepage here, you have the 2023 calendar and lots of other stuff here. If you scroll down the home page for the junior page, you have series results and you can subscribe to the email list and upcoming events, but this is really the coolest thing right here. You go to towing sign up and you scroll down there, towing sign up, and I believe you click here and you will see what event is this. This is the San Diego Junior Invite right here. It's an Excel spreadsheet and you can go through and see all of the events. Let's see if it works. If you're a 420 sailor, you can see that you've already got the coach boats that are going to be there, all of that. Okay, so remember, on the home page, there's Excel spreadsheets for every regatta that we are going to. And let's go back to the home page. The last thing I want to show you is if you go to 2023 calendar, and it will come up and you can scroll directly to the month you want to go to. You can scroll there, but let's look at this. This is a high school event. You see the scholar. All these little notations on the side will help you. This has a bunch of people. This is for parents or a community event. Do you see this little coach's head right here? That means that we are supporting that regatta. That means we've budgeted for coaching. We've budgeted for whatever. It doesn't, if we travel, we've budgeted for hotels. Here is the Perry series, January 28, 29. And you can see we are sending coaches for sure. So this is how you navigate. This is how you know which events will have coaching from San Diego Yacht Club staffing. So that's about it. Remember, sdycjuniors.org, SDYC/juniors. Well, the opportunities are endless, and you have, again, sdyc.org/juniors. Make sure you go through that with your kid and pick out what events they think they'd like to do, talk about it. Our general team theme is quality over quantity. So that can be hard when you look at all these events. So if you're newer to the sport of racing, this might look overwhelming, but you have to remember this is all the different kinds of boats. You have the Naples Sabot, what's called the Ilka. Ilka 4 is formerly known as the Laser 4.7. The Ilka 6 is the Laser Radial, and the Ilka 7 is the Laser Full Rig. So Ilka 4, 6, and 7s. You got C420s, you got 29ers, all the other opportunities that you'll see up here. So picking quality over quantity is a big team theme, making sure you go through things carefully and don't feel like you are missing out on things by skipping weekends here and there. If you look on the left side of the screen, you can start and stop the video and look carefully. Our primary goal regattas, first of all, our winter and our spring and our summer program and our fall program all lead up to these goal events. These are the racing team goals that are what we consider our most important events, and everything else is leading up a pathway training for that. There are also extra bonus classes too. There are extra classes often scheduled right before the major events. So those also lead us up to those events, and those are included in your tuition fees. So I don't want to get too in depth right now, but if you are, for instance, if you are paying for the winter program, then your coaching is covered for your regattas. If you're not paying for that, you're doing something else, then you would pay individually $40 a day to attend the regattas, plus a $25 boat charter fees if you're chartering a boat. So I don't want to get too in depth, but everything in these programs, the extra class offerings that happen right before these events, those are how you're getting ready for those events. And so we'll start talking about those. But let me just emphasize again, go to this website for the calendar and all the other information, and go to scyra.org and join, just look at their calendar, but join the mailing list from Southern California Youth Yacht Racing Association. That is our another governing body on top of the Association of Yacht Clubs in the San Diego area. Southern California then includes, they oversee a lot of things, a lot of series. Okay, let's start. January 7th and 8th, coming up quickly, is a high school regatta. It's called the Rose Bowl. It's probably the third regatta of the year. In high school sailing, they do 5 regattas, and then they take your best 3 regattas, and once they've figured all that out, they pick the top 20 teams in the state of California that then move on to the Pacific Coast Championship. So each team could do 6 regattas, only 20 out of the 56 that are registered in California do. Anyway, January 7 and 8, High School Rose Bowl Regatta. It's at the U.S. Sailing Center, Long Beach. So if you're not in high school, you don't have to worry about it. Junior Parent Night. So this is an informational night. Put this on your calendar right away. January 13th. Okay, January 14th is a regatta at San Diego Yacht Club called the Shadden Regatta. It's in FJ's. That is coming up on the 2-week deadline. So if you want to do that regatta, you should register for that at the website. You click right on FJ Shadden Regatta. It will send you to the link to get registered. This regatta it's a 1-day event, and it's going to require you guys to come down here and help rig the spinnaker halyard, the topping lift. This is an ocean regatta as well at San Diego Yacht Club. We go to the ocean. And then this is a more advanced regatta. This is called the Harold Adams Team Race. So if you haven't been invited to that already, we have 2 San Diego Yacht Club teams going. We have 2 Point Loma High School teams going. We have a Francis Parker High School team. If you're in the junior program, you haven't been contacted about doing the Adams, don't worry about it. If you want to see some cool racing, everybody should come down and watch this off the race dock. The Adams Team Race are some of the best high school team racing teams in the country racing here those 2 days. Okay, then if you're on the junior board, you got to have this night on your calendar. January 15th at Southwestern Yacht Club. Okay, that's the junior board installation dinner. There'll be a guest speaker. You wear your normal junior board attire, and you get recognized for being on the junior board. Okay, the next weekend after this, these HPYS clinics are all on our calendar. HPYS is High Performance Youth Sailing. It's a separate organization from the junior program, but they work in collaboration with us and also with the San Diego Yacht Club Foundation. So High Performance Youth Sailing Laser Clinic. Maru's gonna be back, if you guys know who Maru is. Former head coach here, coach of the year last year in the United States. I think British and US Olympic coach Steve Mitchell. I know Steve's going to be here. I don't know his resume, but it's definitely involved a lot of Olympic stuff. So the laser coaches for that will be them. The 29er coaches will be Sterling Hankin, who I trained growing up. Great guys. He was a finalist for Sportsman of the Year in college sailing in 2018 for the whole country. Ryan Eastwood, most of us already know Ryan. So that HPYS clinic, it's online at this website. You can go sign up. And then there's the Sabbat Regatta at Alameda Bay Yacht Club the same weekend. So that's a big practice event for us. And parents, that was right, 22. Parents, the 21st of January, sorry, is the SCYYA meeting. It's really good to attend those meetings because then you learn all of these acronyms for all these series, all these different, you can see there's just all these different names, Leiter Cup, Smythe, Gauchos, all this different stuff. It takes a little while to figure it out. Okay, then the next weekend, January 28, 29 is the next Perry series. So if you've done the Perry series already, you should be getting signed up for that. This is the third one of the year. This is the best race committee pretty much you're gonna see, although the last Perry at Coronado 2 weeks ago was really amazing. But yeah, this Perry Regatta is almost always one of the best of the year. That race committee's been running this regatta for 30 something years. Let's see. High school SoCal Regatta is that same weekend at Alameda's Bay Yacht Club. The Perry on this weekend is US Sailing Center Long Beach. Okay. High school SoCals are practice events. You don't switch boats after 2 races. You bring your own boat and sail the same boat the whole time. You get a lot of races in. SoCals count for nothing. If you're in a feeder school to a high school, like if you're in a feeder school that's going to send you, if you're going to Point Loma High and you join the team, I shouldn't say that because I think there's some schools that don't allow 8th graders, but SoCals allow 8th graders for teams that allow 8th graders to join their team to do the SoCals. I really got confused there, sorry. But just so you know, SoCals don't count for anything. They are just a great opportunity to get out there. Okay, February. This is an own coach regatta, the 4th and 5th. And the reason for that is that SCYA is not a junior organization, but also our coaches are supposed to be racing that weekend somewhere. So we don't have coaches. And so it's called the own coach regatta. You can go to, there will be about 600 boats racing, all different kinds of boats all up and down the coast of California that weekend. So there'll be 20 different yacht clubs hosting all the different fleets out there. And Sabbats will be at Newport Harbor, Lasers will be at Mission Bay. And if you're gonna do those, you do them on your own. I can give you the own coach guidelines to where you actually have a guideline that helps you coach yourself. But again, no coaches. Then there's a match racing clinic. This is probably, I'm not sure the age range, but again, this will be on the website. All these events are listed on the website. I don't know what SOTA stands for, but Dave Perry is teaching that clinic, and Dave Perry is the country's #1 sailing coach, #1 match racing coach, #1 youth coach. He was my coach 40 years ago when I did the CISA clinic. Amazing guy. So he will be here for those 3 days. You can get signed up for that. Check the age limit. Okay, that same weekend we have a single-handed luff-in. So that's going to be Sabbats and Ilkas, Sabbats and Lasers at Mission Bay Yacht Club. That's February 8th. For this weekend, you have the Lasers, C420s, 29er Midwinters East. The Lasers are in Clearwater, Florida, Clearwater. This is the Midwinters East, Clearwater, Florida. The dates for that are 17, 18, 19. Then you have C420s, which is the U.S. Sailing Center, Martin County. That's in Florida. That one is the 18th, 19th, 20th. Then you have the 29er Midwinters East in Miami. And those are the 19th, 20th, and 21st. So all those regattas overlap, but the dates are a little different. So make sure you look carefully at those if you're looking at that upcoming event in less than 2 months. So those are the Midwinters that weekend. You notice those aren't necessarily on our goal regatta list. The reason why is we consider those types of events like icing on the cake, meaning, you know, we don't set those regattas as goals, but these are life experiences, travel that you're going to meet a lot of new people. And that's what makes the sailing world special, is when we travel or when people come here, we just know a lot of people because we've gone out there. So Midwinters East is not necessarily one we're shooting for, but we encourage that. Okay, then the February 19th is the double-handed Lufton. So that's going to be FJs, non-spinnaker, C420s, 29ers. Luffins are low pressure events. Low pressure. So for kids that are thinking about getting into Sabot racing, ask your coaches, ask me first if you should do it, if you're brand new, and I will tell you, but Luffins are often a good experience, especially at Mission Bay, if you're learning to race or you're just getting to Sabot racing. Okay, high school Golden Bear Regatta. That is run at Treasure Island Sailing Center. If you're not in high school, don't worry about that one. Okay, then we get into March. March is busy. March 2nd is the Junior Parent Info Night, and this is for kids that have just completed beginner Sabots, intermediate Step 2 Sabots, and maybe has done a pre-C3 class. So, and even kids that have done the C3 class. We want that development kind of kids that are getting into the Sabot squad to come in, because this is where the transition is kind of the hardest in our sport, because often parents don't know what the path is. The kids are still in a mode of learning a very difficult boat, a challenging boat. And so if you come in and sit down and talk to us, it gives you a lot of information on how not to rush into racing, how to know when your kid is ready, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, March 4th and 5th is the Shadden. We really don't travel in the FJs that much. They take a lot of work. On top of all of this, we don't set the FJ as a big traveling team for us. We really are trying to focus a lot on this. These are possible if everybody gets signed up early enough and gets all their boats ready. The FJs often get stripped throughout the year, so between this Shadden and that Shadden, you'll often lose spinnaker halyards, spinnaker sheets. It's very expensive to go and re-rig the entire FJs, which we're about to do for this regatta. We'll spend $800, maybe $1,000, just putting back the gear that just kind of goes missing and gets misplaced and used for other things. Okay, here we go. Gaucho Regatta. That's a high school event. Don't worry about it unless you're in high school. This is a big one for us. Sabot Spring Gold Cup. So if you are on the Sabot race team and you are going to do the Sabot Nationals, this is our mock run. So I think many of you know what I mean by that, but this is our practice run. We'll have all of our backup gear plan put in place, all of our, how do we file a protest? What if we get protested? How do we know when to do circles? You know, how are we going to approach sailing in Newport Harbor, which is something that takes a little time. So make sure you're going. If you're going to go to Sabot Nationals, you should go to the Sabot Spring Gold Cup, and also in July, go to the Sabot Summer Gold Cup. Okay, here's another high school practice regatta, SoCal. It's at San Diego Yacht Club. Okay, then the CISA Clinic. This is application only. Okay, so you have to apply for the CISA Clinic. There's going to be an age limit, but this is an advanced racing clinic that brings in world champions, Olympic champions, local champions, and you get immersed in 4 days of sailing. 3 days of sailing, wait, 18, 19, yeah, it's only 3 days now, which is fine. CISA Clinic. Every single good sailor from Southern California, pretty much every single person who's grown up in California who's a really good sailor did the CISA Clinic once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, because the caliber of coaching is amazing. Okay, we're getting down here. 24th, 25, 26 is the ILCA, again, International Laser Class. This is the ILCA Midwinters West, and it's at ABYC. So that is a big event. Tons of radials will be there. Tons of 4.7 rigs will be there. Quite a few full rigs will be there. That is on the laser list. That is on the laser list. So that is one of, for next year, that is one of the regattas that we're leading up to. We're trying to, as a team, kind of attack that event so that when we show up, we start on time, nothing breaks, we have no problems, we sail clean around the course, you know, that's a goal regatta. Okay, 25, 26. This used to be a 3-day event, and I'm wondering if it still is, but I think they made it a 2-day event. 29er Midwinters West at Coronado Yacht Club. And again, that is on the 29er Midwinters West, right there, is on the list. Again, that's a regatta that we want to peak at and set as our event that we're going to go in and have the most confidence in. We're going to try to build our confidence leading up to that event. So when we show up there, we have some confidence. April, I don't know when spring break is in there, so there's going to be a spring break clinic in there and a couple other things. But the Perry at San Diego Yacht Club is the 1st and the 2nd of April. And then you have SCY wire meeting. This is for parents. Okay. Then a couple other dates. This is the day your boat gets inspected for opening day. So you need to show up the week before. You don't want to show up the night before and hope that you can get enough parts thrown together. You should take some pride in this and get your boat set up well, like a lot of people did this year. A lot of people came down 2 weeks, 1 week in advance, and they got all their gear working and all fixed. And this event leads us into this summer. These are our goal events for Sabbats. Dutch Shoe Marathon, Sabbat Nationals, and the under 12 qualifying and champions. Those are the big events for Sabbats every year. And that gets us going into that in April. We're already upgrading our equipment and trying to get that ball rolling so that when we show up like we did last year and have one breakdown last year, we had a gooseneck break on one boat, and it got fixed before the next race. That's the way we want to be. Okay, and then another really fun event, Open Skiff North Americans at Mission Bay. So if you want to do this, it's called the Unregatta. You have to go in there without an expectation of what place you get, because they're kind of random events, but they're really, really a lot of fun, just because they're so different, and you know, you have to do the different activities that they have designed for you. And it's a huge regatta. You get kids coming from all over the country. So it's actually an outstanding event to do, just to kind of be a kid. Let's just review really quickly. The winter and the spring and the summer and the fall programs and the extra classes we schedule, those all lead up to these goal events. You can see for the 29er, our number one goal events is the Youth World Qualifiers and the Youth Worlds. Last year we had the boy team. There's only one team per country goes. San Diego Yacht Club had the boy and the girl team at that event in Holland, in the Netherlands. And for 29ers, Midwinters West, Midwinters East. Also the Ida Lewis Women's Double-Handed Nationals, the Junior Women's Nationals in 29ers. That's a goal regatta for us. And then the U.S. Youth Championship overrides everything. That is the biggest event for us per year. And it just so happens next year, The Youth World Qualifier is that one event in Rhode Island. So this is in July, and you need to start getting on paper, figuring out how you're going to get there, how you're going to help get help with funding. And these are for the teams that are really focused on this Youth World Qualifier. Okay, if we look at the C420 really quickly, the Perry Series is our big goal regattas. The women's Ida Lewis double-handed women's nationals, that will also be at Roger Williams University, maybe the week before Youth Champs or 2 weeks before, something like that. All this stuff's on our calendar, by the way. All this stuff's on that calendar. The U.S. Sailing Bemis Qualifier and the Bemis Nationals, that's the double-handed nationals. And then icing on the cake would be C420 Nationals, North Americans, and the Orange Bowl. Okay? And then look at these for lasers. U.S. Youth Championship is the most important event of the year. You have Midwinters West is important. The Youth World Qualifiers, which is going to be the Youth Championship. You have the U.S. Sailing Smythe Qualifier and Nationals. You have plus Nationals. You have the lighter junior women's nationals, and you have the high school Cressy qualifying in nationals. This is not a junior event, it is a high school event, but we still set it as a big team goal because you're able to judge yourself against your own grade levels. So you can aspire to be the top freshman or the top junior, or, in addition to just qualifying, you can kind of, see how you're progressing against people your own age there. So if you have questions, email me right away, call in right away. This calendar is pretty darn complete. I'm really happy with everybody, Eric and everybody, getting the calendars really ironed out a lot. There's probably a couple of events over here that are going to come, get added. There's something added in here somewhere likely. So you have to go back and look at the website. And in a couple months, I'll do the next calendar video for May, June, July, August. And thanks to everybody, and email me with questions.